Hey, what's up, everybody? So today we're going to be talking about a film that's going to be releasing on Netflix September 16th, and this film is The Devil All the Time. Now, this film instantly caught my eye because of this all-star cast that's attached to it. We're talking about Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, Jason Clarke, Sebastian Stan, and like many more. But like, hello now, like we've seen these names in many other films and projects and having tons of success, and them all coming together for this. I was instantly intrigued, and I have to say, like, I have different feelings about this film. And you know, obviously by the end of this film, you can tell me what you think, and will you be checking it out? But so what this film is basically about, it's about a small town in Ohio, also with another set location in West Virginia. And it's about Arvin Russell, who's played by Tom Holland. And this little boy, we actually see him grow up between these two towns. And we just see a lot of different things actually happen around him, which ultimately molds and shapes who he becomes as a young teen adult, shall I say? Because we don't actually get how old he is, but like, you know, considering all things, we know he's grown up, but we just seeing the growth of this character because he's surrounded by an unholy preacher who's played by Robert Pattinson. Jason Clarke is in this really deranged relationship as a more like a twisted couple who has this really dark fantasy amongst the two of them. And then Sebastian Stan plays this crooked sheriff. So all these type of things are happening all around him, but we ultimately see how all these events and predicaments and circumstances really mold and shape Arvin to become. So for starters, like I said, this all-star cast, instantly caught my eye, and Tom Holland did an amazing job. I mean, he just continues to flourish in the growth of his career, and I think this is just another good step in the right direction because, we've seen him in Spider-Man and Lovable, but him playing this really unconventional role to other castings that he's taken in the past, it just shows how big of a star he's just growing and growing to be. And then there's Robert Pattinson, who's obviously everybody's favorite person to talk about right now, soon to be Batman. But he's got a lot of flack in the past for other roles, but like, let it be known that this guy is an elite actor and he should be treated as such. And I think he does a really great job in this really creepy preacher role that he plays. And then Jason Clarke, who's just one of my favorites. I mean, anything Jason Clarke, I'm invested in. But you give me crazy, creepy, deranged Jason Clarke, I'm in for it. And he just wears crazy like one of the best in Hollywood. So he does a phenomenal job as well. But so with this film, there's a couple of things I want to talk about. First of all, this film is long. It is a slow burn. Like the first 30 minutes is just really backstory and character development, and like while that's cool and all, like I felt like some of it could have been kind of shaved off because I feel like even with throughout the films we get callbacks to some of the moments in the beginning of the film, or call back to the era of the moments of the film, so they're not even like direct scenes, they're just like other things that happened during that time. I feel like they could have used the callback method and it could have worked efficiently, as we've seen later on in the film, without having that beginning 30 minutes. Now, sure, it's absolutely beneficial to the development of the character, but it just added so much runtime, and it actually put emphasis and invested you into other aspects into the story that wasn't really needed moving forward. So, like, at times I felt like this probably could have been a series. Like, it really could have been a series because it was just that long, and I could have took 30 to 40 minute episodes here and let it all come together, and I think it would have just been much more enjoyable because it was long and it felt every bit of it. And it reminds me of like Quentin Tarantino, shall I say, not with his style of gore and his style of shooting, but like his style of storytelling, which is a good thing, but you know what that comes with. It's long here. So yeah, there's that. But at the same time too, considering this is set back into World War II era and the Vietnam War back in like the 1960s, the set pieces and designs were done well. The score, which was used, which primarily used the violin, I thought was really well as too, to really really set the tone in that era, shall I say. And then the other really big emphasis about this film is the church, religion, and faith. These are the themes and the elements that are conveyed throughout the entire time. So we see characters truly want to be one with God, and that sort. But we see how people within this film use religion for evil intent, shall I say, or even just the misconception of what religion mean, as we see people make bad decisions by way of religion that actually is very devilish, shall I say. So we do see characters being tested in all these elements, but also making bad decisions with them, and really the misconception about how God and prayer work. So like you get that element and theme happening over the entire time, which really pays a good message for viewers to take from out of the film. But along with that thing happening, I still was left wondering with the story, like what was actually the purpose of the story. You know, how would this all resolve? Because with so much build up, you just was kind of left wondering, like, okay, so what's the purpose here? What's all going to happen? And sure, it all came full circle, but it still was like really long-winded. So to kind of like basically sum that up, you know, you had characters who were basically abusing humans' rights and frankly just being manipulative because of the idea of what religion meant and what it was and how that would indeed bring them closer to God. But in fact, it was the devil's delusion which ultimately led them to sin. So that's really the theme of the film, which, you know, the theme is really relayed really well, but like the actual story and plot is kind of the one where you're kind of like, okay, you know, where we're going with this. But overall, you know, Tom Holland, he kicked ass the entire time. I mean, he was the judge, jury, and executioner in this film, and he just did a phenomenal job leading this all-star cast. This film, again, is a little over 2 hours, and it's releasing September 16th on Netflix. So, you know, I would definitely say check this out because the performances alone is worth the watch. But, you know, make sure you're ready and settled for this film, because for the 2 hour plus of how long this film is, like, it feels like every bit of it. But as always, folks, let me know in the comments what you think. Are you going to be checking this out after you have seen it? Let me know what you think as well, too. And until then, folks, stay tuned because more reviews are coming really soon.